The MMTLP market corruption case keeps getting bigger as more proofs and revelations come out. So, what's the latest update? Sit tight for the next 10 minutes as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for regular stock market updates. MMTLP started trading on the OTC markets back in June 2021 when it was never supposed to be a publicly tradable share, and a Twitter conversation between George Palikaras, John Berta, and Matt Kors revealed more proofs. These top executives said that they did not give any permission for the share to be publicly traded, and George even mentioned that he wrote to FINRA telling them that certain official information on the OTC markets about MMTLP was false. In our opinion, this case will likely take a few more months to be solved as it requires thorough investigation. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for MMAT. As always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get to the 5-minute chart. Now, right off the bat, we can see that we're down 3.48%. But before we get into MMAT, we will talk about MMTLP as always. And first up, now before I give you guys any updates, I want you to give me an update. I have a little question that the protest that was supposed to happen on 3rd January, right? I did try a lot to find information about it on Twitter, but I did not receive any. So if you have any updates about it, do let me know in the comments. Did it happen? Did it not? If it did, well, who covered it? How did it go? All of that stuff. And now coming to the main points. First up, FINRA fraud, right? Hashtag FINRA fraud was trending above FINRA's official handle on Twitter, which is again a great thing, right? It is a great form of digital protest, and of course, it will help MMTLP holders kind of get into a better spotlight altogether, and they will risk, FINRA will risk, they will risk their identity, their brand image, and everything, right? Their trust. Basically, I'm pretty sure, well, most of you don't trust FINRA by now, but at the same time, there are a few people who do, and this entire situation will kind of take that trust away from the situation. So FINRA will likely have to address this at one point, and of course, with CEO Elon Musk on Twitter, right? Not MMTLP's CEO, of course. Twitter's CEO is now Elon Musk, and he will likely not play around with this trend. So there are less possibilities of Twitter being manipulated now, in my opinion. And of course, as for the markets being manipulated, we cannot say the same thing about that. Secondly, um, lend share interest, right? A lot of people who had lent MMTLP shares continue to get their interest despite the fact that MMTLP as a ticker is erased from exchanges, right? It is no more tradable. It's not even existent anymore because it got converted into the next spread shares, of course, right? People are supposed to receive the NBH dividend, yet people are posting screenshots on Twitter that completely shows that they're still receiving interest on their lent shares. So where are they? Right? Where are those shares? Well, it's pretty simple. The market was imbalanced to begin with. There were a lot of fake shares, not exactly fake shares, like you get the point, right? There were a lot of synthetic shares made solely for the purpose of shorting, and of course, those shares um, had to go somewhere, right? So when people bought them, of course, they were not supposed to be there, but at the same time, when they lent it out, that same share, which was not supposed to be there, was now sold by a short seller, and these people were receiving, interest off of that. So that again is a messed up situation, and it will need a long time to fix it up because again, it needs thorough investigation. And third point, a lot of people are saying that the banks that are kind of associated with this entire thing, right? For example, TD Ameritrade has its own TD Bank and all of that stuff. Exchanges and not exchanges, but brokerages that have banks associated with them, people are saying that you should probably refrain from using those banks and pull out your own liquidity. And that way, it would make a financial impact for them to not kind of address the MMTLP situation and get it sorted. Now, of course, that makes sense, but we'll come back to MMAT and see that over here. First up, we've kind of beaten up that gap down, which I already was about to tell you, but we already did it. So we can see that we're now at a 0.87% gap down, which is not too bad. We did kind of climb up by, let's see, by about 2% pretty much. So where is this headed now? Well, of course, according to the 1-day chart, this trend overall, despite the fact that we got a crazy bullish momentum over here, we're still on the verge of breaking the bullish trend. So we still have, you know, some room left, and we might be able to continue this bullish trend itself because MMAT, it is a good company too. Now, as for CES, the CES event begins today, I believe, and that will, of course, be a site to kind of witness as MMAT gets displayed there, right? MMAT will have a booth. They'll have their products, their microwave shield. I forgot what it was called, right? That microwave shield product and a lot more. So that, of course, will be interesting to watch, and it will hopefully add to the price movements. And as we can already see, we're not getting much volumes today, only 100,000 shares traded. But of course, if we compare that to the previous average, we can see that it's about 4.7 million shares traded. But then again, we're just 8 minutes into the market, so it's pretty decent. We will eventually catch up. And now, if we talk about a price prediction, if we talk about a price target, I always tell you guys that I have a price target of $10, but with the CES, it will really depend on how this event turns out. If it turns out good, I'll probably take that up to $14. If it does not turn out good, I'll probably lower it down a bit to $8. But then again, $8 is really possible in my opinion. We currently have a market cap of 400 million, and going to 8 million, or rather $8 in price would take the market cap to, let's see, so 4 into 8, that gives us 32, right? So that would probably take it to $3.2 billion, which again is achievable, and it's again a rough estimate, and I could be wrong, so of course not financial advice. But with that being said, we'll move on into the 1 hour chart so we can analyze the charts in a bit more detail. And now that we're in the 1 hour chart, we can see that we're holding on to a specific level over here, which first up on the lower side is pretty much $1.06, and on the upper side is close to $1.12, right? So these are two support levels, two important support levels. And as for resistance, we got resisted. First up, this 1.15 level is pretty strong. 1.13, which is now a support, right up here at 1.18, and of course the stop that we made at $1.22, right? These are all important levels, and in my opinion, we should be able to kind of beat these levels up today. So if we get, kind of continue with this bullish trend which we established yesterday, we'll likely go somewhere around $1.17 today, right? I guess. And of course, after we head to $1.17, we'll probably get a bit of a sell-off in the last candle itself, and that will probably put us around 1.15, 1.16, and then on the next day, right, that would be, let's see, Friday. I believe Friday will be a bit of a sell-off, right? So we'll probably get a small gap up, and after that, go down a bit, probably back into the 1.15, $1.13 range. But then again, we'll have to wait and watch. But until then, we'll move on into the 5-minute chart so we can analyze the stock in even more detail. And now that we're in the 5-minute chart, the first thing we'll be doing is opening this extended trading hours window, which will show us the pre-market and yesterday's aftermarket price. We can see that we got a pre-market movement of, first up, a small gap down. Well, not exactly a small gap down. We were at the $1.12 support, after which we went up, got resisted around 1.13, fell down again 1.12, fell down to 1.11, got a gap down around 1.12, and then we went straight to 1.14 in the next candle, only to currently trade at 1.13, down 1.74%. Now, what does this mean for the stock? In my opinion, it is not that big of a deal. Usually when we get a gap up, we do get a good bull run to follow it up. Currently, we can see that we're down 2.17%. Why could this be? First up, the CES that we have today, we'll have to look at how that performs in order to make a correct judgment. But in my opinion, this is just a small pullback kind of sell-off, right? So I personally wouldn't worry about it. But of course, if we look at yesterday's performance, we did get signs of an early bear trend. So we might kind of, replicate that movement today, get a small bear trend, and then go up. So we'll have to look at the $1.1 support, which is again really crucial, and 1.12, which is just approaching us, right? Or rather, we're approaching it, right? So 1.12 would be the first resistance, or rather support that we hit, and then 1.1 would be the next big support. So we'll have to look at those. I personally stand bullish. I think that this is a good time to buy. This might be a good price to acquire. It might fall below, a dollar in some time, but then again, it will be only a better time to buy. And as the market recovers, MMAT will recover too, in my opinion. But then again, remember that I could be wrong, so that's most definitely is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If however you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, sure you can hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.